Yo, what's up guys, it's the Goblin, and today I'm bringing you guys a MOAB on the new DLC map, Oasis. I'm using the MP7 with the silencer and the winter camos. This is on my second account, the GreenGoblinHD account, where I play with subscribers. I was playing with some guys from the UK here. So let me get right into the gameplay. So I get a MOAB, obviously. This is my second game on the map pack. So the first game I didn't get a MOAB, I got close, and then in this game I got one. So let me talk a bit about the map pack and this particular map, because this is the only multiplayer map that came out today. Usually they come in packs of 2, but they also came out with those face-off game modes. Who knows, maybe I'll make some videos on those. I'll probably get on and play those after I'm done this commentary. So what I found with this map is it's very large, right? And C and A DOM, I think you want to keep them at C DOM personally. That is because when you keep them at C DOM, they do spawn all over the place. And this spot right here on this spot on the map, this is the major spawn point. Both teams will spawn there, depending if you have C or A. You know, you can both be spawning there, so I'd watch out for that. But you'll see, as this map is huge, you know, you can run around for long amounts of time without being able to find anyone. But I go over here and pick up C DOM and cut that a little bit out. So yeah, so the right side of the map I find is more for assault rifles, for an ACR, for a SCAR L, something like that. If you like to play like that, I suggest sticking to the right side of the map over here. And you know, there's lots of these different perches like here where you can look out and just pick off your enemies as they come by. But personally, me, I like to pick off enemies as they spawn. I like to pick off enemies as they spawn. I like to rush. I like to use my headset. I like to drop shot. I like to do all that sort of stuff. So what I use is the MP7 on this map, and that's something that I find is a lot more effective. Because, you know, when I'm doing something like this, I'm able to pick the enemies off as they spawn. As most of the spawn points on this map are on the left side. And if you guys can find out where the spawn points are, you know, I don't know all of them. I've only played two games on this map. But if you guys find out where the spawn points are, you can abuse them on the left side. You know, just use your headset, use a submachine gun. That's something that I like to do. And with the MP7, obviously, it has very little recoil. As you'll see there, I pick off 2 guys here. And this is a prime example of a headset. I was shooting at that guy, hear a guy coming up on the steps behind me, and I just turn around and take him out. So that's something else on this map. But you know, with headsets, it depends on the ground that they're walking on. So here they're buildings, and you know, the headset is very useful. And that's why I do like this map. I think it's well designed. The colors are all nice and bright. And that's something that I like about Infinity Ward, is how the colors are all nice and bright. You know, if you're talking about a Treyarch game, like let's say Black Ops, what maps look like this? I mean, there's not really many maps. It seems like they want to make you depressed and play. And there's a long shot with the MP7. That is why I love this gun. You know, it's not as good close range as a PP90 or P90, but long range it's outstanding. So yeah, back a bit about the tips for this map. If you guys have it, it's the DLC. I'm not sure when it comes out for everyone else. But what you want to do is, if you play that kind of style of rushing, sticking to SMG, stick on the left side. If you want to play an assault rifle, stick to the right side. Another thing about this map is, you'll see here, there's lots of these different corridors, staircases on the outsides, and some tips for staircases, because there's lots of them in this map. Always be looking up, and remember, the guy on top of the staircase has the advantage on you, because he has the height advantage. He's looking down on you. He's more likely to get the headshot, which obviously kills in 1.4 times faster. And that's why, you know, people on top of staircases always have the advantage over others. So when you're walking up a staircase, always keep your aim up. Always, you know, aim down sights. Be ready, especially if you're on that specialist bonus. That's something I like about specialist bonuses. You get quick draw, you get stalker, so you can basically walk around, aim down sights most of the time, and you know, you can be ready around these, you know, tight corridors, tight staircases. If you're more of a, you know, a long-range player, tips for the right side is use those head glitches, use those high spots of cover. You know, there's spots up in the buildings, up in those temple spots, where you can just sit there and pick off enemies as they try and rush B-Dom like idiots. So that's something that I'd recommend if you like to play that style. Stick to the right side. There's also a flank route along the right side. You won't see it in this gameplay, but there's flank routes along the outside where you can come up behind them on ADOM. And ADOM is kind of a mess, and I don't really like to stay in there because it's kind of like, you know, a little hotel. I'm guessing it's a hotel because this is an Oasis. So it's a hotel, and there's all these different tight corridors. You know, you can easily get overrun by enemies spawning there. So that's why I recommend sticking on to CDOM, to keeping the enemies at CDOM. But you know, there's lots of different ways to play this map, and that's what I like about it. It's a bit big for a 6v6 map. I'm guessing this could be coming out in Ground War when it gets released to the public. But anyway, guys, that's the gameplay. If you did enjoy this, please, if everyone could give this video a like, rating, and a comment, that would really mean a lot. You know, I appreciate all your support, guys. So leave a like on this if you did enjoy me getting the MOAB on the new maps in my second game. And as always, guys, subscribe for a cookie. I'm out. Peace.